On this, the inaugural episode of XVG, we'll be stabbing men in the crotch with swords, jumping over flaming barrels on a bicycle, and trying to pacify thousands of angry Chinese people with our minds. It's a big ask, but I'm almost certain we're up to the task. All this along with all your new releases both now and in the distant future. One of this month's releases you should be looking out for goes by the name of Wet. Released on the 18th, it's a stylish, acrobatic grindhouse shooter depicting the trials and tribulations of one Ruby Malone, a woman with a fine leather jacket, a big sword, and a bloodlust the size of an airport. She's voiced by teenage crush bomb Eliza Dushku, and she's joined by Fallout 3's Malcolm McDowell and X-Men's Alan Cumming. It's a classy affair full of slow-motion gunplay, painful finishing moves, and comes replete with an excellent soundtrack. It's as Tarantino as you like, and it doesn't appear to care. Coming a little bit later on, November, in fact, is the long-awaited Assassin's Creed 2. It's the sequel to 2007's classy graphical masterpiece, Assassin's Creed, as you probably figured out by the name. As before, you'll take control of a moody hitman from the Middle Ages, this time in the romantic stink pit that is Venice. Your name this time round is Ezio, a nobleman turned assassin, and as in the first game, Ezio is an ancestor of Desmond Miles, the modern-day bartender we met in the first game. And only a matter of weeks ago, it was revealed that ex-XFM DJ and writer of Yes Man, Mr. Danny Wallace, will be actually playing a role in the game, and I can exclusively reveal right here and right now that he's pretty much psyched at the thought of it all. And as you can see here, it looks easily as good as the original, if not better. And the musical score's from the same guy who gave us Hitman's orchestral manoeuvres, so it's all shaping up to be quite the sequel. One of the largest money spinners in the months leading up to Christmas must surely be Beatles Rock Band. Released at the start of the month, and this being the third instalment of the ever-popular Rock Band series, it gives you over there with the trousers on, the chance to become John, Paul, Ringo, or even George, imagine that, and play your way through 45 songs of the Fab Four's oeuvre. I've never heard of this band, but I imagine it's probably going to make Electronic Arts a lot of cash, especially as the premium bundle, which includes the drum kit, one guitar, and a microphone, will set you back nearly 180 quid. Money can't buy you love, but it can buy you a lovely plastic Hofner bass. All that said, it's a gorgeous looking game. The creators have spent a lot of time getting the master tapes up to scratch, and above all else, it reeks of authenticity. One bit of gaming news that tickled me this week was the news that Chinese online gamers staged a sort of virtual online protest at the news that their favourite game, Hot-Blooded Legend, was being relaunched, but without due care and respect to its original flavour, so to speak. So they did the only thing they could do, which was block the virtual city gates in the virtual towns with their virtual characters. I think it's fair to say that I have very little idea what's going on here, so I'll turn to some genuine translations of what players have said. Protest, protest, we've been cheated! Protest, protest, we've been cheated! Stay far away from me, I want to play my game! Mind your own business! I f*** your wife stinking until she gets... Strong stuff indeed. I just hope that no one gets virtually hurt. That's all I ask. Most of my friends would probably say, yeah, he does a couple of radio shows a week, but what the hell else does he do with his time? Well, apart from eating crab sticks and sleeping, I play a lot of video games. Sometimes I wear trousers for this, sometimes just me pants. I like to mix things up, and to be honest, it's none of your business, sir. Here's this week's stuff what Pete Donaldson's playing this week, possibly in his pants. Trials HD is technically a trial bike racing game, where, in very much the same vein as the 80s TV show Kickstart, contestants, that's you in this case, have to get across a crazy obstacle course, which will be hard enough to get through on two legs, let alone two wheels. I must point out at this point that I've never actually seen Kickstart, the television show, because I wasn't alive in the 80s, because I'm like, well, young and that, yeah? Trials HD presents the playing field in a sort of three-dimensional, two-dimensional mix. You lean forwards and backwards on your bike. You can ride forwards and backwards on your bike, but you can't turn off the course at any point. At its heart, the game's only really about balance, which in the beginning is easy to get a grips with, but on some of the harder levels, it punishes you for any little mistake. I'd go so far to say it's quite simply the most infuriating piece of entertainment made this year, and despite all this, it's an essential buy. You can pick it up within minutes, play it for hours, and hate it and love it at the same time. It's almost literally a physical and emotional rollercoaster, and you can grab a copy for 1,200 Microsoft points, which is roughly a tenner, from Xbox Live now. Do it now. Right, in a semi-regular feature we're probably going to call Bad Video Game Box Art, here's a retrospective look at a couple of titles where the designers really shouldn't have bothered. In at number 3 this week, it's a real artistic air biscuit. It's pro wrestling on the Master System. I can't really figure out, A, whether or not a grown-up drew this, B, where's that man's head gone? And C, is that supposed to be his head? Or somebody is fighting? Just baffling. In at number 2 is the seminal, in perhaps only one sense of the word, Barbarian, which was available on various 8-bit platforms. Yes, you're correct, that is indeed page 3 glamour model from the 80s, Maria Whittaker, along with Wolf from Gladiators. Oh, look at his face. Urgh. I used to be able to grow hair on the top of my head and the back. Urgh. At number 1 this week, Cinderella on the PlayStation 2. Jesus H. Christ. That's it for this episode of XVG. Thanks for watching. I'll be back in a couple of weeks with a bigger and better show, with more of this and this, but no more of this. Bye-bye now.